got a big bang.
Small waist, pretty face with a big bang.
I mean, if we're talking about a big bang during the Great Depression,
The big bang.
then maybe. Now this girl's name is Belle Delphine, and that bum-backlet STD spreader is back. Now in case you have no idea as to who Belle Delphine is, don't be fooled by her innocent looks. She's anything but innocent. Belle Delphine used to be extremely popular more than 6 years ago. Back in 2018, she was blowing up on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and she pretty much got famous for being the first e-girl ever, or at least for popularizing that concept of being an e-girl. And no, being an e-girl is not an achievement or something to be proud of, okay? If your daughter comes to you and says, "Hey dad, I'm a successful e-girl on TikTok," you should not be happy, because in your head, you need to be picturing a girl who is literally doing some sus dances on TikTok lives, and you need to go get the milk. Like if your daughter tells you that she's an e-girl, you do not say, "Yeah, yes." You go get the milk and you never come back. Belle Delphine was extremely popular back in the days. I mean, one day you'd see her collabing with a big YouTuber, and then the next day you'd see her collabing with a real squid. And don't ask me why she did that, bruh. Like, I don't know why, but back in the days in 2018, playing with corpses was a big thing for YouTubers. It was content for them, apparently. But talking about degenerates, I've seen this popular misconception going around where people are saying stuff like, "Wow, a lot of YouTubers are getting exposed in 2024 for being degenerates, for being creeps." Well, I would argue that people got exposed all the way back in 2018 for being degenerates. But people, for some reason, didn't care back then. Let me tell you this dark story that we all like to forget. Belle Delphine, back in 2018 to 2019, well, she released a very popular product.
My boys, it's time to get your gamer girl bath water.
Hey, will someone get that herpes life away from me? I'ma keep it a buck. Anyone who looks at this and says, I wanna sip on that, then your mom needs to put you back inside her and ask God for a refund, because your nasty desperate ass is so far gone that even a lobotomy wouldn't be enough to decrease your IQ any further. What in the actual fell abortion did I just watch? Bruh, what are those drinking noises, bruh? I know that coochie juice ain't that good, bruh. I know that contaminated water tasted filthy. Don't do that noise. But Belle Delphine started selling her ST herpes riddled, stinky flavored bath water, and a lot of people bought it. Belle Delphine's contaminated water sold so well that it actually went out of stock, which of course doesn't surprise me one bit. I mean, just now we've just witnessed this degenerate creature doing some sus gulping noises. I mean, man, I think he drank like 20 of them Belle Delphine bathwater cups. But of course it doesn't surprise me that this AIDS water actually went out of stock. There's so many desperate, degenerate men who would do anything to sniff on some brown stained toilet paper that was used up by a girl. And you better believe it when I say that a lot of YouTubers self-reported themselves when she started selling that bath water. For example, you had this one YouTuber called Furry Cynical who literally self-reported himself by buying Belle Delphine's bath water and drinking it. But of course, his reason as to why he bought it is because he was just doing it for the content.
This was another episode of putting my life on the line for content and for views.
And definitely not because he wanted to sip on that doo-doo juice.
I'm not drinking anymore.
Bruh, this is like some acting. Like you can see him like in the first few seconds like pretending to suffer like I can't guys, I can't, this is so disgusting. And then 2 seconds later, like he drinks the whole thing and his thirst is quenched, like real quick. I don't know guys, is he suffering? Because to me, he looks like a baby sipping on his mom's milk. By the way, this whole thing with Furry Cynical gets even funnier when you realize that a year later after sipping on that coochie water, he got exposed for literally busting on pictures of obese furries. And when that happened, I was like, who could have seen that coming? What a shocking piece of information. And of course, just like any YouTuber who gets too big, you have to make that infamous My Response video.
I mean, yeah, we shared some fat furry out. We had some weird fantasy roleplay.
But of course, if you're a degenerate currently watching this video, you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, this Fader guy, he's kind of acting up a little bit too much. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just bathwater. And on top of that, it's bathwater coming from an attractive girl. So who knows, maybe I would drink that bathwater as well. Okay, well, you and your mental disorder need to be locked up in a mental institution. And secondly, it's not just bathwater. I'ma keep it a buck. When we're talking about bathwater, especially bathwater coming from this girl in particular, we're talking about bathwater coming from a girl who probably just got her bitch clapped by Tyrone, and then she's sitting on bath water, contaminating it with Tyrone's milk. And not only that, but you have to remember that her poo-poo is also touching the water, so we're now dealing with probably tapeworm eggs and poo-poo stains infecting the water. But not only that, but we're also dealing with the something sus of the girl touching the water as well, that, who knows, maybe it's got an infection, maybe it's got a fungus infection. And without going into too much details as to what happens when someone gets a fungal infection, sour cream starts to be secreted from her sus. So maybe that's also touching the water. Like, we have to remember that bath water is not just water. Let's make that clear. If you're a normal human being, I think we can all agree when I say that it don't matter. It don't matter how attractive a stranger is, because you don't know that person, you don't know their hygiene, you don't know if they just got... And you're not that desperate, so you're not drinking no bath water, bruh. Smash like if you agree. So like I was saying, I'm not surprised one bit that her AIDS water sold out. Now you might be thinking to yourself, wow, she must have made big money from that AIDS water. Shockingly enough, that's not the case at all. Just a few months ago, we got a big update from Belle Delphine herself concerning her bath water that she sold back in 2019. She revealed that her AIDS water, that she sold for $35 a pop, by the way, actually cost her money. She actually lost money selling that water. Now don't get it twisted. Obviously it's womp womp. It's like, oh no, she lost money, guys, no. Until you realize a few seconds later that she was actually one of the highest paid OF girls, and she was getting paid $1 million a month for showing her big bank from the Great Depression. But despite all of that, I kinda feel bad for her. The reason why part of me feels bad for her is because of how she lost that money. Now, obviously, it's not the bath water itself that was somehow expensive to make and made her lose money. No, like you literally put your fishy, stinky, coochie in water, marinate your meat for a little bit, wait for the water to turn a little bit yellow, then you call it a day. In her tweets, Belle Delphine actually revealed that her honest e-commerce business of selling her dirty water was actually managed by PayPal. But all of the money that she ended up making with her coochie juice ended up getting yoinked by PayPal. But like I said, make no mistake, it's womp womp for her. I mean, she's made multiple millions of dollars through her OF by showing her invisible gat. So at the end of the day, what's 90k for her? But the way she lost that 90k is absolutely messed up, and it's something that could literally happen to anyone. Like, she literally got her bum violated, which I'm sure it's far from her first time, but her getting her bum messed up personally gives me PTSD. Pause. What I'm trying to say is, I'm sure we all have our own personal experiences of being screwed over by a business, company. For example, me, I bought this big ass fridge not too long ago. Like, I bought this big fridge. I don't know if it's bigger than YouTuber Boogie298, but it's still a big fridge. And by the way, to this day, I still don't know what 298 stands for next to his name. It's definitely not his birth year. Like, is it the number of pounds that this YouTuber weighs? I guess we'll never know. But I bought this big Samsung fridge from Best Buy, and I remember this salesman, he was trying to sell me on that model, because I was trying to buy a smaller fridge, because you know, I don't know, bruh. I don't eat that much, bruh. I'm not built like queso. Yeah, but that salesman went ham on me, bruh, and I took the bait. Sadly, he was saying stuff like, yo, currently Best Buy is selling this, there's a big discount for this big fridge. There was like a $500 discount for that big fridge, even though the smaller fridge that I was trying to buy was $800 less than the fridge he was trying to sell me. So he was like, you know, it's higher quality, it's made by Samsung, you know what I'm saying? It'll last you a while. So I took the bait, bought it, and then a month later, that big fridge started peeing on the ground. Like, come on, bro, that ain't Belle Delphine's pee. I ain't gonna sip on that. And at first, I wasn't even mad, because on the top right of my big fridge, there's a big sticker saying 10-year free warranty. But of course, corporations being greedy rats, if you zoom in on that sticker, it says that the warranty only applies to a specific part of the fridge. And color me surprised when I found out the specific part that was covered by the 10-year warranty is one of the last parts of a fridge to break. But the moral of this little story is that whenever a big corporation, a big multi-billion corporation screws over anyone, doesn't matter if that person's a millionaire, multimillionaire like Belle Delphine, it never feels good. I always have empathy for those who get screwed over. But let's make one thing absolutely clear. I personally don't think that Belle Delphine should be hated. In fact, you can't help but respect her hustle. At the end of the day, she played the game very well. Like, she took advantage of desperate, lonely, creepy man and printed millions out of these morons. But also remember, for every Belle Delphine who successfully made tens of millions of dollars through her sus content, you've got tens of thousands of fatherless, shameless girls who tried doing what Belle Delphine did and failed. Like, they would show their invisible, disgusting gats for maybe $50 a month, and doing OF and making no money from it is a big L.
YouTubers have no idea what it is to work a normal job.
Says the failed laboratory experiment who tried making an OF just for no one to buy it.
You have no clue.
Yeah, be mad. I'd probably point that middle finger too every time I looked at the mirror if I looked like you. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like I was saying, I respect Belle Delphine because unlike those fatherless bum-backlat girls, Belle at least played the game correctly and made millions out of Sims. Also, let's not get it twisted. Belle Delphine is also fatherless.
I have no dad, and I think my mum probably does regret maybe a little bit.
My point is, if we're talking about Belle Delphine specifically, someone who successfully made tens of millions of dollars through her shameless story, at that point it's nothing but respect. I don't believe she should be hated, In fact, do you want to know who should be hated instead? The shameless, disgusting people who bought her bath water and sipped on it like it was Fiji water. When in reality, it was Gucci instead. Now initially, when I heard that she was selling her bath water, I thought the whole thing was fake. At first, I thought that she was just filling random cups with water and maybe added a few extra ingredients to make it look more real. Like, I don't know, maybe she added white soap to make it seem like the bath water was used to rinse off Tyrone's sour cream from her cat. But it turns out that it actually was her bath water.
How many baths did you have to have?
Around 6 or 7. Some definitely were sitting in there longer than others. And I did spit in some also.
Now, if she not lying, then this YouTuber actually sipped on her coochie juice. After selling her AIDS water and after printing millions of dollars with her OF, she disappeared for many years. It's not until very recently that she finally came back and not only gave us the update that nobody asked for about her bath water actually costing her money, but she also came back to go on a podcast and reveal some pretty interesting information.
I wish there was a way to keep me on the internet and just like somehow delete everything or just kind of die in a sense and just move on. I like chapters.
Really?
Yeah, I
You'd
think
just like to
well, it'd be quite nice.
Disappear would be a nicer
Yeah,
way of saying
maybe
it.
close the chapter, but there's no way to do that.
Okay, now this is where I don't empathize at all with her. This is where I don't feel bad at all. We've seen it so many times, like OF girls or retired sus actresses crying on social media saying stuff like, I just want to live a normal life. My past doesn't define me. Mamans, when you chose to get your p slapped by 5 people, when you chose to perform sus activities to make millions of dollars, at that point, yes, your past defines you. Take this girl for example. I've seen her crying on Twitter in the past saying stuff like, guys, I'm a female activist, okay? I don't want to be defined by my past. I want to move on from it. Boy, shut the f*** up! Everybody reading these stupid tweets knows fully well that if they put your name on Google, the first thing that's gonna pop up is not gonna be a feminist activist, animal lover, it's gonna be something else. It's funny how all these girls who cry about wanting to move on from their past, well, they eventually always go back to acting like a fatherless girl. But not Belle Delphine, right guys? She's different. What makes this whole thing hilarious is that despite her pretty much saying in that podcast, she wants to start a new life, she wants to, move on from her sus past, just a month later after that podcast, she decided to release this doll! And I'm not talking about a Barbie doll. I'm talking about something even more sus than her bathwater. In this shameless tweet, Belle Delphine says the following. Ever wanted to frick me? Now you can. Almost frick me. I'm selling my very own customized doll, including my own clothes and worn... The sad part is that you already know that despite this obviously costing more than her bath water, it's probably gonna sell even more than her bath water. Bruh, it doesn't even look like her. Like if it did, I'd buy. This is exactly why the saying, once a toot, always a toot, is a thing. It's always like this, bruh. When a toot's got a lot of money, they're very quick to spew nonsense like, I'm an animal lover, I wanna take care of the environment, the past doesn't define me kind of BS. But as soon as the money starts drying up, they're real quick to go back to their sus behavior. But the moral of the story is, don't do what this YouTuber did. Don't be sipping on no bath water, and don't buy that doll. Now smash like if you're not sus, subscribe. Now I'm gonna go see if that doll's out of stock. Money, money, money.